Do you think one day, Cole, it might be part of the fear and greed index because it tells us kind of so much about what people are thinking might come?
It's an interesting question. We developed, the BVIV index, and it was integrated into the fear and greed index before these DeFi lending rate indexes and the Volmex prime rate family was live. But would be interesting to explore that. I think that's a good idea. I haven't thought about that actually. And
again, a lot of us remember like back in 21, when DeFi was big, you could lend out your stablecoins for 8%. And it was the line at the party when you were going to ask people about crypto, like how much money do you get in your savings account? I get at that time it was 1% or 2%. And well, guess what? With crypto, you can get 8. And that would get people's attention and be like, okay, what's going on here? Now that kind of collapsed when the crypto collapsed, but maybe that gives people a kind of an interesting example of why your index is really important. And it's something that it's really hard to track. I know a lot of traders in crypto and a lot of whales and influencers, and not once have they come to me and said, Brian, did you see the lending rates on stables is going up or down? They're just not using that, but they really could use it.
So they're on TradingView now. You can search BDLR, BVPR, BFR on TradingView.com, which has tens of millions of users, and add them to your watch list. And so,
Amazing.
We're finding a lot of people are interested in this. They should be on some more platforms soon. And as mentioned, they should be tradable at some point. And so, the CME has a very active SOFR market, right? You can trade futures on the SOFR index, which is the TradFi's equivalent of this type of product. The NYSE also has a very active SOFR market, or ICE. And so we think there's going to be an entire complex of rates products built around the Volmex prime rate index family, the BDLR and the other indices. And this is a very powerful idea and could be a massive franchise for Volmex.
I think it will be. When I got to that swap book at Bankers Trust in 93, I was trading Chicago Mercantile Exchange futures on LIBOR. And they had evolved from a 3-month LIBOR contract to 1, 3 months forward, 6 months, 9 months, and then out to 10 years. And we used to trade these individual 40 different, futures contracts.
Peter Thiel took $500,000 and turned it into $1 billion using the exact same techniques we're using inside the investment club. He met a CEO, his name was Zuckerberg. He pitched him the deal and he said, okay, I'll give you $500,000. Mark went public and sold the shares to people like you. Well, what happened to Peter? Well, he exited and got a 2,300x return. The wealthy invest in early stage companies, folks. The public markets are for suckers. It's a rigged game. By the way, this happens in crypto as well. It's called pre-sale tokens. This is Solana. Does anybody know this chain? They sold pre-sale tokens for 4 cents. And you can see the date on there, April 5th, 2018. Look at Solana today, folks. That thing's up over 1,000x. The media and Wall Street and all these hype people get you to buy the top. Meanwhile, they put their clients in at the bottom and they use you for liquidity to make their clients rich. You can play this same game. You just have to have the financial education and the deal flow. That's it.
And it created this whole yield curve of borrowing and lending rates, based on LIBOR. And it was an integral part of most of the bank's business. Like you said, people don't understand fixed income is 10x bigger, I think, maybe roughly than some of the other markets. So yeah, this on Bitcoin, this is what institutions want and need. Yeah.
I totally agree. I think that's a really interesting experience, having traded, LIBOR futures. It's interesting. The crypto credit market kind of evolved a lot from the last cycle, right? So last cycle, there was entities like BlockFi and Genesis, which eventually inevitably had problems when that sort of black box for lending sort of had, insolvencies and whatnot. And so now DeFi, makes it, so that, you can automate that lending process. And actually DeFi is kind of one of the first sectors to fully flip the, lending business in CeFi. But I think with the, the introduction of folks like, Cantor Fitzgerald, who's expressed interest in building a Bitcoin lending business, and maybe some of the other, GSIBs, big banks, as the crypto credit market comes back and the, lending is more prevalent in crypto, I think the BVPR family will find a lot of users in, folks that want to use it as a benchmark, folks that want to build structured products and structures off of it, tradable products on exchanges, just track it on TradingView or hopefully soon Bloomberg and others. And so, I think it's a really powerful idea. And, so we're really excited to be this kind of, index conglomerate that has the leading vol index franchise in crypto, but also this leading emerging rates index franchise, and really excited about where we're headed.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.